From Damascus to Moscow, Bashar al-Assad's dramatic escape. The world watched in shock as the longtime Syrian leader fled his homeland, seeking refuge in Russia. This unexpected move has left many questioning the future of Syria and the broader implications for the Middle East. Assad's departure marks a significant turning point in a conflict that has ravaged the nation for over a decade. This is the start of a new chapter for Syria. The Syrian flag still waves proudly, but the landscape of the nation is set to change dramatically. The people of Syria, who have endured years of hardship and conflict, are now at a crossroads. The streets of Damascus, once filled with fear and uncertainty, are now buzzing with a mix of hope and apprehension. After 24 years in power, Bashar al-Assad's reign has come to an end. His speeches, once a staple of Syrian state media, are now a thing of the past. The portraits of the Assad family that adorned public spaces are being taken down, symbolizing the end of an era. The presidential palace, a fortress of power, now stands as a relic of a bygone time. Granting him and his family asylum, Russia cited humanitarian grounds. The Kremlin's decision has sparked a wave of international reactions, with some viewing it as a strategic move to maintain influence in the region. Humanitarian aid workers are now faced with the challenge of addressing the immediate needs of the Syrian population as the country grapples with the aftermath of Assad's departure. This comes after Syrian rebels, led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, captured Damascus. The fall of the capital was a decisive moment in the conflict, signaling the collapse of Assad's regime. The battle-damaged streets of Damascus bear witness to the intense fighting that led to this turning point. Rebel forces, now in control, face the daunting task of rebuilding and restoring order. Celebrations erupted, with Syrians pouring into the streets, some even looting Assad's palaces. The joy and relief were palpable as people celebrated the end of a regime that had ruled with an iron fist. However, amidst the celebrations, there are also concerns about the power vacuum and the potential for further instability. In a symbolic moment, HTS leader Abu Muhammad al-Golani declared a new history for Syria at the Umayyad Mosque. His speech resonated with many as he called for unity and a new beginning for the war-torn nation. Rebel leaders are now tasked with the monumental challenge of transitioning from armed struggle to governance. Hundreds of prisoners were freed, marking a significant shift in the nation's landscape. The release of political prisoners and detainees has been a long-standing demand of the opposition. This act of liberation is seen as a gesture of goodwill and a step towards reconciliation. Families are reunited, and the atmosphere is one of cautious optimism. Meanwhile, the US has reacted cautiously. President Joe Biden's administration is closely monitoring the situation, aware of the delicate balance of power in the region. The fall of Assad's regime presents both opportunities and challenges for US foreign policy. The international community is watching closely as the US weighs its next steps. President Joe Biden acknowledged Assad's fall but warned of a potential ISIS resurgence. The threat of extremist groups exploiting the power vacuum is a real concern. US military operations in the region continue with a focus on preventing any resurgence of ISIS. The stability of Syria is crucial for the broader security of the Middle East. US airstrikes have targeted IS positions, aiming to curb any threats. The precision strikes are part of a broader strategy to maintain pressure on extremist groups. The US military's presence in the region remains a key factor in the ongoing efforts to stabilize Syria and prevent further chaos. Looking ahead, talks are underway to form a transitional government with promises of free elections. The international community is urging for a peaceful and democratic transition. The formation of a transitional government is seen as a critical step towards achieving lasting peace. Syrians are hopeful that their voices will finally be heard through free and fair elections. Former Prime Minister Mohammad Ghazi al-Jalali is in discussions with Golani to lead this new phase. Their collaboration is seen as a potential bridge between the old and new Syria. Diplomatic talks are in progress with the aim of establishing a stable and inclusive government. The road ahead is fraught with challenges, but there is a sense of cautious optimism. Stay tuned as Syria navigates this pivotal moment in its history. The world is watching as the nation embarks on this new journey. The resilience and determination of the Syrian people will be crucial in shaping the future. As the dust settles, the focus will shift to rebuilding and healing the wounds of a long and brutal conflict. What will the future hold? Only time will tell. The path ahead is uncertain, but there is hope that Syria can emerge stronger and more united. The coming months and years will be critical in determining the nation's trajectory. For now, the world watches and waits, hopeful for a brighter future for Syria and its people.